Hey there, it's GrawvyRobber. I'm back with another tutorial. Thank you guys for checking out all my vids, or if you're a first-time viewer, thank you for stopping by. This one's going to be a little bit different than some of my other ones. I'm going to talk a little bit about matte painting and photo bashing and using photos and photo textures within paintings. It's widely used, fairly common. Just want to give some tips and pointers, and I don't know, we'll kind of see what happens. So as you can see, I kind of have this cool photo. It's kind of low res, but I generally thought it was a pretty unique setting. But I just feel like playing around with it, having some fun. It's not going to be client used. It's all personal, just gonna have fun with it. So to start off, I'm gonna extend the canvas actually a little bit, just to kind of change the composition. Just moving it up a little bit. I just wanted to get the top of this temple type thing. I'm gonna start a new layer, and I'm actually just gonna grab the clone tool real quick. I just want to fill in. Actually, I'll create a new layer on the bottom. I'm gonna put like that gray there. I want a starting point, so I don't want to have 0 pixels or paint on a white background. So I'm just gonna clone in, kind of sloppy, just some texture, so I have that to work with as I continue. And sometimes you can get something that looks fairly decent. Let me get. Sometimes it can actually look like it belongs there, which is always a plus, you know, speeding up things. Get that in there. Not sure what I'm going to do with this background. One of the key things, though, if you are, painting over a photo or kind of photo bashing, matte painting using textures, you don't want it to really, look obvious like you have a photo in there. It's nice to steal the textures and to kind of steal from it, but you don't want to completely steal from it. That's just not right. But to each their own. I've seen a lot of professional concept artists and design artists. They will, use these photos to get some quick structural pieces going, and it really speeds up the process. So as you can see there, that was fairly quick, and we were able to kind of totally change and add quite a bit. We didn't totally change, but changed quite a bit on there already, just by cloning in some different parts. Totally extended that top bit. All right, let's get this in. My end goal is to basically not have it recognizable as that same setting and that same photo from the beginning. There will be certain pieces that will be kept the same, but generally I just want to mainly steal, maybe some of this architecture, the lines in it, and some of the texture that's actually provided in the photo is really nice to have. But let's just jump right in. I'm gonna grab one of my favorite brushes here, which I've provided in different brush packs. I duplicated now. I merged everything and then duplicated that, and I'm gonna start a new layer on top. And we're just gonna kind of have fun with this right now. Make sure. Just gonna kind of let me get rid of that. I'm gonna grab the quick lasso tool, or the normal lasso tool, excuse me. And I'm just gonna kind of create I want to get some like stones that look like they may be, you know, like you could hop across to like get to that area. Just a quick selection. Grab a fairly large brush, paint that in. If my computer wants to cooperate. Might have went too big there. I'm trying to work on a smaller image while recording because my computer isn't the best, as you can see. Okay, there we go. And it's nice with these, you know, these quick little selections like this because you can get some interesting effects if you just do a couple strokes across the middle of it, but you don't get all the edges. You can kind of define the shape of a lot of things quick with just a lasso selection. So now as I deselect, you can kind of see, oh, it looks like we may have some added rocks in there. It's not bad. It's a start. We're not near finished yet with that, but it gets us to a good starting location. All right, I'm going to merge that. Now I'm going to kind of play around with the overall lighting on this. I want to kind of make it a little bit darker. Don't push it too far. I want to mute down some of those highlights there. So I'm actually painting on the mask of this curve layer. So right now it's filled with white, but I wanna bring in a little bit of those highlights back in. So I'm gonna grab a soft round brush, and I'm painting black now on the mask. The mask is filled with white because everything's showing through. I'm gonna kind of come in back here. To kind of give some unique lighting to this. I don't want everything to be highlighted or everything to be in shadow. I want to give some interesting light that's bouncing around this image. Can't have it be boring. All right, that's not bad. I'm gonna go in again. My curve. All right, put a little curve on there because it was feeling too cool overall, and I didn't really want that atmosphere in it. Now I can come back and mask out some of the parts to give, you know, some cool lighting maybe bouncing in the shadows here. kind of randomize it up. Don't want everything uniform. I'm gonna create another layer. Let's try some color dodge. Oh, that went too much there. Whoa. Computer's freaking out. I'm gonna save that for in a little bit. I'm gonna make this like tree, make like kind of more interesting tree down in here. I'm gonna merge and start painting here. I'll show you what brush I'm using. I'll enlarge these. So it's this one right here is one of my more favorite brushes to use. I provided in a different tutorial some of the brushes, but I can get you guys a pack if you really want some of my brushes. But you can do the same with a hard round brush, basically any brush. What's nice about matte paintings is a lot of times if you're bashing a bunch of photos together, you can get some interesting colors and interesting things to pick from that you normally wouldn't see or decide to pick. I like doing just these kind of, mindless details. A lot of times there'll be parts of the image where you're working hard and you're just really thinking about how something should look. And then it's nice to take quick little breaks every so often and kind of just do these mindless details that just come naturally a lot of the times. You're just painting, you're just having fun, and then it's a good break from all the thinking. I'm by no means professional or anything, or consider myself one. I like to just have fun and just paint things and create. I think you should too. You should really enjoy it, and if you're not finding enjoyment from it, why do it? You should be creating things that are fun to you, or things that interest you, or create stuff that doesn't exist. And who cares about the means of getting there? It's all about the end result. So some people say using photo textures is cheating, but I have seen countless professionals use it in the field that actually is used for video game design art and tons of stuff like that. Just picked up a nice red color there, kind of like that. I'm gonna do a selected color, my blacks. So I wasn't liking, I'll show you before this. The blacks just seem kind of too black and too rich, which I'm not a huge fan of. So I just opened up selective color, which is pretty simple and straightforward and a pretty basic adjustment layer. And I went into the blacks. I'm gonna drop some weight in the blacks and then see. Oops. Just taking out like 2 out of the black. And then you can play around, you know, with adding different weights of different colors, different values in there to get a different feel of the image overall. So like you can make the shadows warmer, you know, throw more yellow in there. But I kind of want them, I want the shadows to be kind of a cooler. So I'm going to fill that. I'm going to go back with my soft brush. I want it to look like, you know, the reflecting light from the opposite side of where your main light source is kind of a cooler color. The shadows are kind of cool and rich and not black. Because black shadows never are appealing. You know, I may change the light source to more of a warm color to give that good contrast of, you know, cool shadows and warm highlights. We'll see though, we got a long ways to go. I'm gonna merge it. I encourage you to merge often. It'll not only make your computer like you more, if yours is like mine and can't really handle much, and it'll also make you a better painter because you'll learn to work with your mistakes, and then it'll teach you to make less mistakes. The less mistakes there are, then the less you have to paint over. So you'll really make your brush strokes count. And if they don't, who cares? You can just paint over them. If any of you are oil painters also, or do any traditional painting, not just oil painting, sorry, but it could be acrylics, could be anything, you'll know that you can always rework your image and you just wait for the paint to dry and paint over it. But luckily with digital, we have the luxury of painting right over it right away. Don't have to worry about how wet the paint is and drying time and all that. quick selection, did kind of a darker color, just like some shrubbery, some greenery. I'm actually gonna look. Oh, it's harder now with all these large thumbnails. I have some kind of cool plant brushes. Create a new layer just in case I don't like it. You know, something quick to kind of get the general idea. You know, I'll lay it in, come back, I'll either mask it out or just erase it. Masking is nice because it's not destructional, or it's not full-on destruction of deleting the actual pixels, but you can, you know, paint where you want stuff to appear and where not. But sometimes I just don't care and I will just erase. I just kind of want the general impression of some plants there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be sloppy. It can be fun. So what I'll do is, now I have that layer of just these things on there. I'm going to create a new layer above it, and then I'm holding either Alt or Option depending on what you're using, and it creates a clipping mask. You can also right click and you can do clipping mask, or you release clipping mask if you don't want it there. So now anything I paint on here that is within the brushes or plant things that I painted just now will show up. Anywhere else it won't show up. Only whatever's on that layer it's clipped to will be visible. So with that selected, I can go back up. I'm gonna try this. Actually, I'm gonna try this one. You can grab like a texture brush, anything really. And let's say you just want, you know, parts of it to be in highlight. Like maybe some parts of it are still hidden, but you just want little bits of it to kind of glow, shimmer, or get some. You can even do this with like texture and whatnot. Maybe I just want, you know, some of that in there. It's fun just to play around with clipping masks and just any mask in general, because you can get some unique effects that really make something look cool. All right, I like that. Let's merge it. All right, so as you can see, I've gone a little ways. Not a terrible lot, but let's keep chipping away. I'm just going to jump up here and we can kind of play around with some of the architecture of these. I guess this would be considered like a Mayan type room. I want it to look like a little door going in there, which it is, but I kind of accentuated the lighting of that to give it that look. Come in, and since this photo is pretty low res, you can kind of repaint over things. And on this one, I'm not going to be doing it, but on other ones, I highly encourage using more than one photo. You can just get a bunch of different textures if there's different things you need, kind of like if you need a vine texture or brick texture. Take your own photos, or you know, if you're practicing, you can always just Google different photos that you need for different textures. It's really, really helpful, especially for learning and if you're just practicing. But even if you're doing you know, some commission work or something, it'll help you achieve some new effects that probably weren't aware about earlier. I think I'm gonna make kind of the skyline more. I want to mute it. I want it to be a pretty muted background. Go for. I'll try out a few different things here. I don't want the background to be too detailed, so you can sometimes just do some general shapes, you know, if you want it to look like there's trees in the background. Just do some general tree shapes. Or mountains or hills or caves, whatever the heck you want in there. So I want this building on the right to kind of be darker to contrast the light source coming from right in here, shining through. So I'm going to darken this up quite a bit. I'm going to actually take a curve layer, fill it with black, change my brush to white, and then paint in the areas that I want to be darker. I want it to be, you know, sort of silhouetted in a way against that harsh highlight. I'm gonna actually darken more. I'll keep merging and saving previous states so you guys can kind of see the progression of it. Let's see. Just kind of doing some light brushing with a soft round brush at a 30% opacity. I picked kind of a light green just to add some atmosphere to it. So objects that are farther back in space is kind of where I'm putting it. Do some more mindless details and kind of just chip away, slowly filling this in. Just kind of getting the general shape of things. I'm not going into too much detail. I just want the impression of certain objects there. It's all about just capturing the impression of something. Do another curve here. Select the soft round brush. gonna grab a new textured plant brush. Sometimes I use the there's the polygon lasso tool that you can create hard edges with. Sometimes I'll do that to create some, like to show like the highlighted edge of something. Especially for architecture, and man-made stuff. Usually can look pretty good. Just to kind of get some of those accents of light dancing around an object. go ahead and merge that. All right, create a new layer. Pretty much almost done with this one, just because I don't need to go too much farther, as it's just a quick study, just some practice more so than a study. I'm just going to use some brushes and some shrub brushes, and just create some random greenery here in the front. Maybe I'll do a little bit over top, like it's some overhanging leaves, Yeah, kind of like that. I'm going to create a new layer. I'll color dodge. Grab a soft round brush. I'm not going to grab this green color. Kind of just creating these light beams. Quick fix up this part. I might come back to this later and finish it up. If you guys want to stay up to date with me on a lot of my posts, I post a lot more paintings on my Facebook page. I'll provide a link in the description below. So feel free to follow me there. I'll continue to post YouTube tutorials, but I also enjoy just posting ones that I'm not recording on that page, so feel free to drop by that, give me a like, stay a while, we can chit chat, whatever. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this tutorial, and hopefully it'll help you expand into the map painting world. Thank you guys so much for watching.